Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Donagata. Today, we're back here playing Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. And, why is it called Plus? Well, apparently there's something interesting. So, well, obviously aside from the obvious fact that there's extra stuff, there's something really interesting here. This is not my desktop at all. My desktop, has some nice photos. This is not my desktop background. This is very interesting. Side stories. Side stories are friendships that are unrelated to the events of the main game. To get all 6 side stories, try writing poems for different characters and viewing their special scenes in Doki Doki Literature Club, or DDLC. And, how would I even have mail in the first place? Well, whatever. So, like, this is a thing. This is very interesting and weird and new to me. So, anyway, we should just get on to Doki Doki Literature Club and continue where we were. This game is not suitable for children who are easily disturbed, or individuals who are easily disturbed. Okay. You can use skip button and fast forward through text you've already read. Okay. Natsuki. Let's read Natsuki. We were reading poems. Let's read Natsuki's poem.
Well, it's not really any worse than your last one. But I can't really say it's any better either. Huh? Phew, what?
Well, anything that isn't a train wreck I'll take as a win. And I get the feeling you're probably the most critical.
Hey, what makes you... Wait, maybe that was a compliment? Glad to see someone recognizes my experience. Well then, keep practicing and maybe you'll be as good as me someday.
Why is the music back up? I don't want the music up. Thank you. That's, something tells me Natsuki completely missed the point.
Come to think of it, this kind of reminds me of Sayori's poem from yesterday.
Eh? You think so?
Yeah, well, I guess if you've been friends with her for so long, you might be on the same wavelength. But you never really struck me as her type.
Sayori has a type all of a sudden?
Well, I don't know, but honestly, Or how could someone, Fluffy, spend so much time with someone like you? It's like she's dragging around a dead weight.
That was a little unnecessary. But think of it this way. If it weren't for me, she would probably just fly away like letting go of a balloon. You could say we each take care of each other in our own way.
Whatever it is, I don't get it. Oh yeah, I guess I'm supposed to show you my poem. Here.
Amy likes spiders. You know what I heard about Amy? Amy likes spiders.
Icky, wriggly, hairy, ugly spiders.
That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a cute singing voice. I heard her singing my favorite love song. Every time she sang the chorus, my heart would pound to the rhythm of the words. But she likes spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. One time I hurt my leg really bad. Amy helped me and took me to the nurse. I tried not to let her touch me. She likes spiders, so her hands are probably gross. That's why I'm not friends with her. This has a lot of, you don't like Amy because of spiders. You don't like spiders. Amy has a lot of friends. I only see her talking to people. She probably talks about spiders. What if her friends start to like spiders too? That's why I'm not friends with her. It doesn't matter if she has her other hobbies. Doesn't matter if she keeps it private. Doesn't matter if it doesn't hurt anyone. It's gross. She's gross. The world is better off without spider lovers. And I'm going to tell everyone. Okay, so you have a grudge against Amy right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why, though. But, okay.
Not bad, right?
It's quite a bit longer than yesterday.
Yesterday's was too short. I was just warming up. I hope you didn't think that was the best I could do.
No, of course not.
Anyway, the message is pretty straightforward in this poem. I doubt I have to explain it. Sometimes you can explain complicated issues with much simpler analogies. And it helps people realize how stupid they're being.
So, you're trying to... You're basically confirming you don't like Amy or the fact she likes spiders. Okay, so, not a huge spider fan.
Gotcha.
Like, anyone would agree that the subject of this poem is an ignorant jerk. Do you know people like that? Or do you know people like that? Of course! It's about how everyone thinks Mike.
That doesn't matter. It can't be about it could be about anything.
Wait. Is she trying to make an analogy for herself? Like saying she likes comic books or manga and no one else does, which really gets, she really doesn't like, and whatever. I don't know, it's weird and it just, I don't know. I'm looking too much into it.
I wrote it to be easy to relate to. Everyone has some kind of weird hobby or a guilty pleasure. Sometimes that you're afraid if people find out, they make fun of you or think less of you. But that just makes people stupid. Who cares what someone likes as long as they're not hurting anyone and it makes them happy? I think people really need to learn to respect others for liking weird things.
Well, you're definitely right. At least I can relate to that. And I'm sure a lot of other people can too.
It's what I do best after all. I don't like writing unless there's good message to take away from it. Like conveying emotions is important, but I want to make people think, not just feel. Remember that. I'm going to write a good one for tomorrow, too, so look forward to it.
Yuri.
Let's see what you've written for today. This is pretty good, Dino Gadget. Were you influenced by seeing everyone's writing styles yesterday?
I guess you could say that. I was also a bit surprised by how differently everyone writes. So, I respect you for trying new things. You don't need to be afraid to be a little more daring. Metaphors can go a long way. Don't feel like you need to work your brain like turning a bunch of gears. Try letting your mind wander through your feelings and write down the things you see and hear. That's one way to truly enable your reader to see into your mind. It's a very intimate exercise. I see. That's certainly interesting technique. Thanks for sharing.
I have, an example of that if you'd like to read it.
Of course. Is this the poem you wrote for today? Yuri nods and timidly hands me her poem. The Raccoon. It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my window. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an ordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of bread, my subconscious well aware of the consequences, well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom, the bread, my hungry curiosity, the raccoon, an urge. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off of my cutting knife, the very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited, or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon has taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me its excitement. A rush of blood, classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread, and I feed myself again. I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's. I could see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. I don't know if it's my fault, but I can't begin to imagine what this poem is about. That's right. It's a bit closer to my preferred writing style, using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them. Yeah, if I take it at face value, then I can't even figure out what it's supposed to mean. Well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. I want to express the way it feels for me to indulge in my more unusual hobbies. It's those sorts of things I'm usually forced to keep to myself, so I sometimes enjoy writing about them. Huh, that's funny. Didn't Natsuki also write something about that? About someone being ridiculed for a strange interest? Eh? She did? Yeah. She was talking about how it doesn't matter what you're into as long as you're not hurting anybody. She's right. I mean, does she really feel that way? Yeah. Sounds like you two have that in common. That's interesting. To me, she seemed like the kind of person who would make fun of my hobbies. But I suppose that's my fault for judging, isn't it? Please don't tell her I said that. Don't worry, I have no reason to. Okay, well, thank you for sharing it with me. After all, if I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I would probably hate myself. I might be ranting a little bit now, but I'm glad that you're a good listener. You're welcome. Okay, everyone, we're all done reading each other's poems, right? I have something extra planned today, so if everyone could come sit at the front of the room.
Is this about the festival?
Well, sort of.
Do we really have to do something for the festival? It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days. We'll just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members.
That's a concern of mine as well. I don't really do well with last-minute preparations.
Don't worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay?
We don't need much more than a few decorations. Sayori has been working on posters, and I've designed some pamphlets we can give each other during the event. Or give out during the event.
Okay, that's great and all, but that doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event.
Sorry, I thought you heard about it already. We're going to be performing.
Performing?
Monica?
Yeah, we're going to have a
Poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem to recite during the event. But the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite poems too. Sayori's putting it on all the posters in case anyone wants to prepare ahead of time. Sayori's been coloring a poster, holds it up for us to see.
Are you kidding me, Monica? You didn't already start putting those posters up, did you?
Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea?
Well, no, it's not a bad idea, but I didn't sign up for this, you know. There is no way I'm going to be performing in front of a group of people like that.
I agree with Natsuki. I could never, in my life, do something like that. Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear.
Guys!
No, Sayori, I understand where they're coming from. Remember that Natsuki and Yuri have never shared their poems with anyone until just a couple days ago. It's a lot to ask for them to recite their poems out loud to a whole room full of people. I guess I kind of overlooked that. So, I'm sorry. But I still think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and each put on a good performance, then it will inspire others to do the same. And the more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is all about.
Yeah, it's about
Expressing your feelings, being intimate with yourself. Okay, I'm sorry. Doing the voice for Natsuki and Sayori really hurts my voice. Or is starting to hurt my voice, so I'm just going to read them normally. Being intimate with yourself. Finding new horizons and having fun. That's right. And it's those reactions that we're all in this club. Those reasons we're all in this club today. don't worry. Or don't you want to share that with others? To inspire them to find the same feelings that brought you here in the first place? I know you do. I know we all do. And if all it takes is standing in front of the room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, then I know you can do it. Natsuki and Yuri remain silent. Sayori looks worried. I guess that leaves me no choice. I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. I think that Sayori and Monica have been trying really hard to get away, or get new members. The least we could do is help them out a little bit. Hold on a sec. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, the least we could do is help them out a little bit. Well, maybe, but it looks like Natsuki doesn't have any arguments left. Okay, fine. I guess I'll have to go with it. Alright. Phew. Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri? Yuri dejectedly glances around at everyone else's expectant faces. I guess I don't really have a choice. I'm just not gonna do the voices for the voices I have for them. I'll just do the, I'm just gonna do my normal voice. Aha, that's everyone! You're the best, Yuri! This club is seriously going to be the death of me. Oh gosh, he'll be fine, Yuri. But anyway.
That's what we like to call foreshadowing. It is going to be the death of her.
Okay, sorry. I had to. Let's move on to the main event. I want each of you to choose a poem of yours. We're going to practice reciting them in front of each other.
No way!
Monica, this is too sudden. Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? Oh no. Don't worry. I'll start off to help everyone feel a little more comfortable.
Can I go next?
Of course. Now let's see. Monica flips through her notebook to the specific poem she has in mind for herself. She then stands behind the podium. The title of the poem is The Way They Fly. Ahem. Monica begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. More than that, her inflection is pristine. She knows exactly how to apply emotion behind each line she recites, bringing the words to life. Is this something she's done before, or is she simply a natural? I glance around me. Everyone has their eyes on Monica. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has an intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Finally, Monica finishes the recitation. The four of us applaud. Monica takes a breath and smiles. That was so good, Monica! Thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? I'll go next. What? Yuri's fired up all of a sudden. Yuri clutches a sheet of paper between her hands and stands up. Keeping her head down, she walks quickly over to the podium. This poem is called... Yuri anxiously glances at each of us. You can do it, Yuri! It's called After Image of a Crimson Eye. Yuri's voice shakes as she starts reading the poem. Just a moment ago, she practically refused to do this. Why is she suddenly putting in so much effort? As Yuri gets past the first couple of lines, her voice changes. It's almost like what happened when Yuri gets absorbed into her books. Her quivering words transform into the sharp syllables of a fierce and confident woman. The poem is full of twists and turns and structure, and she enunciates with perfect timing. I can't enunciate at all in the slightest, no! This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly she finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around her as if she bewildered even herself. It's up to me to save the situation. I'm the first to start applauding. Everyone joins me afterward and we give Yuri the recognition she deserves. It's not that we didn't want to applaud for her, but we were caught off guard that we must have forgotten. Well, they must have. Our character is the one who decides, do it! As we applaud, Yuri holds the poem to her chest and rushes back to her seat. Yuri, that was really good. Thank you for sharing. Looks like Yuri is down for the count.
Okay, I guess I'm next then.
Sayori hops out of her chair and cheerfully walks to the podium.
This one is called My Meadow. Sorry, I giggled.
Sayori,
It's a lot harder than I thought. How did you guys do it so easily?
try not to think of it like you're reciting to other people. Imagine you're reciting it to yourself, like in front of a mirror or in your own head. It's your poem, so it'll come out the best that way. I see. Okay then. Sayori begins her poem. Somehow it feels like her soft voice was made as a perfect match. The poem isn't aimlessly cheery like Sayori is. It's sincere and bittersweet. If I were to read this on paper, I probably wouldn't think much of it. But hearing it come from Sayori's voice almost gives it a whole new meaning. Maybe this is what Sayori meant when she said she likes my poems. It's like I get to reach more deeply into someone I thought I knew through and through. Sayori finishes and we applaud.
I did it!
Good job, Sayori!
Even Dino Gadget liked it. I guess that's a good sign.
Take it as a sign, as whatever you want, I don't care. What does that even mean? That is a good question. What does that even mean? It came out nicely, Sayori. The atmosphere of the poem fits you really nicely. But it might be that other poems wouldn't work quite as well with that kind of delivery. I don't really understand. In other words, I've seen poems of yours where that sort of gentle delivery wouldn't work as well. They might need a little more force behind them, depending on what you're reading.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Well, I've been practicing that kind of thing. Okay,
it's just embarrassing to do in front of everyone.
The next time I'm going to make you pick a poem that challenges you a little bit more. You don't have much time before the festival. Or we don't have much time before the festival, you know.
Okay.
Now, who's next? Natsuki?
Don't make me go before Dino Gadget. It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway.
You're not very confident in yourself, are you? Might as well let Dino Gadget lower everyone's standards a bit before I have to do it. Natsuki, it's fine. I might as well get it over with. It's not like I have much of a section it's not like I have much of a selection of what to read. I'll just have to go with what I wrote for today. I stand up and step in front of the podium. Everyone has their eyes on me, making me feel terribly awkward. I recite my poem. Since I'm not exactly confident in my own writing, it's hard to put energy into it. Despite that, once I finish, I receive applause anyway. Sorry, I'm not really good as everyone else. Don't worry about it so much. I think it's less about your abilities and more about your lack of confidence in your writing. That's something that'll improve over time, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Alright then.
That just leaves you, Natsuki. Yeah, I'm going.
Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium. This poem is called...
why are you all looking at me?
Because you're presenting... Anyway, the poem is called Jump. Natsuki takes a breath. Once she starts reciting the poem, her sour attitude disappears a little. While she's still a little unenthused, her poem has a rhythm and rhyme to it. It's Natsuki's trademark style. It works surprisingly well when spoken out loud. The words feel like they bounce up and down as if giving life to the poem. Natsuki finishes and everyone applauds. She huffs back to her seat. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Easy for you to say.
You'd better not make me do that again. Do you at least feel prepared enough to recite a poem in front of other people? I mean, doing it in front of other people will be way easier. I could put on whatever face I want to other people, but when it's just my friends, it's just embarrassing. That's a surprise, Natsuki. I thought it would be the other way around for me. Well, that's just how it is, so, I guess in that case, you won't have much to worry about for the festival. That said, I want to thank everyone for coming through. It might be hard, but I hope that you all have an idea of what it's like now. Make sure you pick a poem and get enough practice before the festival, okay? I'll be making pamphlets, so let me know ahead of time what you'll be reciting. Jeez, I should probably find some other poem to recite instead. That's fine too. It doesn't have to be your own. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting in all this effort for the club. It makes me really happy. Yeah, no problem. Okay, everyone. I think that's about it for today. I know the festival's coming up, but let's try to write poems for tomorrow as well. It's been it's been working out really nice so far, so I'd like to continue that. As for the festival, we'll finish planning tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Monday's the big day. I can't wait. I can do this. I can do this. All right. I stand up. There's no way I'll be able to find some enthusiasm as Sayori and Monica, but I'll do my best to get through it. If it's for the sake of the club and impressing Monica, then I'll have to do my best. Ready to go, Sayori?
Yep.
Look at you two always going home together like that. It's kind of adorable, isn't it? Jeez, guys, don't make such a big deal out of it. That must be a little nice, though. Well, how am I supposed to respond to that? It's okay, Dino Gadget, you don't have to say it. Whatever, let's go already. I walk home with Sayori once more. Even though it's only been a few days, a lot of things already changed. But today, Sayori's being a little quieter than usual on the way home. Hey, Sayori. Sorry, I was spacing out. No worries. I was thinking about something earlier. I like how we get to... Sayori fumbles with her words. So, let's just say that one day Yuri asked to walk home with you, huh? What would you do? What kind of question is that? You're kind of putting me on the spot here. I'd still walk home with Sayori. Sayori, you really think I would ditch you for Yuri? But she's so beautiful and smart. Jeez, I already see her in the club every day. Besides, you always seem to really like going home together. I would just ruin that for you. You're so silly, Dino Gadget. You think about me too much sometimes. Yuri would deserve it if she wanted it so. Sayori, I've already made up my mind. I really can't figure you out sometimes. Sorry. Besides, what's the point in speculating something that's never gonna happen? The conversation trails off. It's kind of a weird thing for Sayori to care so much about, but I want to respect her and keep her happy too. And again, the festival's only a few days away. Who knows what will happen in that time? Oh, you'd be surprised what will happen in that time. A lot of things happen in that amount of time. Or some interesting things might happen. Some interesting things. Anyway, I'm gonna have to save this, and I'm gonna have to end this episode. So... well, actually, I guess... actually, we just exit Doki Doki Literature, and this is the desktop. So, thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!